Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo.
Hello, and welcome to another Sunday edition of Restore Christendom.
Good evening, everybody.
How are we doing out there?
It's March 23rd at 7:17 p.m. Good evening.
Oh, good evening, Nether Knight, from the opposite side of the Tiber.
Hello.
And good evening, Ginny.
Hey, Ginny.
Nice to see you. Ginny's always here. You can always count on Ginny.
We
What were you gonna
get
say?
lucky with having Ginny here on Sundays.
Yes.
It's
Well,
timed right after her Bible study.
yeah. So I hope everybody had a wonderful and blessed week. It is Sunday, so we're all getting ready to go back to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Except for Nether Knight. I'm sure he's already at work.
Yeah, probably.
Ah.
I bumped it up.
Yeah. Okay. Is that better, Nether Knight?
I also know that I was not positioned properly.
Right.
My first few words. So.
Yeah. Right in my face now.
Well, it was yesterday. I cleaned the studio / the basement, and I had to rearrange some stuff. So
Yes. We enjoy having you here, Ginny.
I know I'm not normally where I'm supposed to be. I can feel it.
Right. It feels off.
Yeah. I feel uncentered.
Yeah, you're a little off to the. There we go.
Is that better?
That
Let's
looks
see.
better.
I don't know. We'll fix it. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Emily screwed everything up, and now we gotta fix it.
Whatever. 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 I don't know. Yes, Lord, it was me. I did it.
I don't know if I can go. I mean, I can go a touch more. I'm maxing out on the screen, so.
Yeah, I know. But are we?
Yeah, no, we're on the right. Yes, I checked that already. We're on the right
sweet.
mics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, now that we have all that worked out, yeah. Okay, so it's Sunday, right?
Yes.
It's the third Sunday of Lent.
It is the third Sunday of Lent.
You're a Catholic.
Yeah, it's been a rough go. It's been a lot of hunger. It's been a lot of denying myself things that I would like to have, but we're halfway through already.
Yeah.
So, but
I know that I shouldn't say that this has been easy, right? Because that's not what Lent's supposed to be. But I don't know.
It has not been easy for me. I would definitely not call it easy, but it's been manageable.
Yeah.
It's definitely been manageable. It's a lot easier though when you
have it tied to the Lord.
Yeah, when you think back, okay, well, the Lord suffered a whole lot more than this for me, so I can suffer for 6 weeks for the Lord.
Yeah.
It's
not even really that you're suffering for the Lord; it's that you're suffering
with the Lord.
With the Lord.
Yes.
And also
in remembrance of the Lord.
Well, I mean, let's be honest here. Our sins, we kind of deserve to be scourged and crucified. Just speaking for myself, the shit that I've done in my life, I deserve to have some scourging, some crown of thorns, and some nailed to a cross business, some trudging across for miles and miles. You know what I mean? Like I deserve to have some sort of like rough punishment for the sins that I've committed. So it's like it's not that, you know.
Yeah.
Little gurgly, empty tummy noises
Yeah, a little
isn't cat o' nine tails, you
no,
know?
little empty gurgling tummy noises and no malort isn't the end of the world.
No, it's not.
Um,
So
yeah.
yeah, that's kind of where I've been with it is, you know, not that again, I don't want to say that it has been easy. I just am even more grateful and appreciative that that 8 years ago I started to change my lifestyle. I started to change how I like lived day to day to where like the I don't know, I guess maybe the fasting part of this isn't kicking my butt. The part that's kicking my butt is doing my prayers instead of my online friend hangouting. So, like, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
Is I'm not the empty stomach noises don't bother me. It's the like not knowing how like the people are doing that bothers me. But I'm praying for them, so it balances it out. I
Yeah.
know that I'm not talking to them on a daily basis and like checking in and knowing like every minute of every day what's going on, but like I'm praying for your situations and that everything works out the way it's supposed to.
Oh, yeah, we got the verses another night. Well, we'll pull them up after our after we do our mass readings.
Oh
Yeah, we
yeah,
will get them
nice.
in. I've got it right here. So,
Thank you.
yes, thank you, sir. Um
Doo, doo.
yeah. But so yes, we are halfway through Lent basically, or close to.
2/3.
Yeah, I think Wednesday will be halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if this was just something I was doing to try to lose weight or something, I'd have cheated by now. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
So, do you want to go ahead with we'll kick off with the readings there, Miss Emily?
Yeah, we can do that. I guess only because I'm staring at what Nether Knight sent us. Our entrance antiphon today was my eyes are always on the Lord, for he rescues my feet from the snare. Turn to me and have mercy on me, for I am alone and
Oh,
poor.
well, then let me just go ahead and share this. I'll share it now
Oh,
before the
okay.
reading, since you just read it, basically. Um, there you go. I wasn't even set up, but now I'm set up.
Doodly doo.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yep, Akoli, third Sunday in Lent.
And also, since you guys are watching us on Rumble, and Nether Knight is here, make sure that you make a point to go to the Trinity Lutheran Church. They have a Rumble channel. They stream their services.
And you can listen to another night play the organ.
Yeah, and you can listen to Nether Knight play the organ. If Lutheranism is your jam, there's people out there streaming that stuff also.
Yes. So, yes, that was the entrance antiphon today. I'm sure it was the same for another night. That's why he posted that.
Yeah, it's probably pretty close. All right. So the theme of this Sunday, the need of ongoing reform. As long as you are in the process of growing, you are alive. As far as our physical condition is concerned, at a certain moment, we feel that the process of decay has set in. True, we can slow it down by keeping ourselves in good shape, and a whole industry is even helping us to do so. But we cannot stop the process of getting old. It is different, however, with our growth as persons. We are most aware of our personal growth during the years of formation, students in school, engaged partners getting to know and love one another, religious during the novitiate. I don't know. That's a word I don't know. The key to happy and meaningful life is to keep growing. Paul speaks of maturing in Christ. This is a lifetime job. Lent is a time of paying renewed attention to our growth as persons. Am I approaching the design God has in mind for me? In the liturgy, we are confronted with Moses, who experienced God in the desert, and the Lord Jesus speaking of reforming our lives. Reforming is not an instant happening, it is an ongoing process. Am I growing as a person?
Yeah. I wasn't gonna smoke a pipe tonight, but
Figured why not?
why not? Yeah.
You're not going to do any talking anyway.
Not for a minute, no. Plus, I got this nice new pipe. Oh, yeah, I haven't changed anybody. Another new pipe. Jerusalem Cross from the Catholic Pipe Company.
Yeah, you guys have been hanging out with us for almost a year, so you guys should know that he likes to get into a thing and then acquire all the things and then get a new thing and acquire all the things. He has all the fishing rods and reels he could ever need. So
Yes,
now he's acquiring all the pipes and stands that he could ever need.
right. But it's not like I
We have all
stopped.
the streaming equipment that we could ever need
It's not like
and
I.
backups.
It's not like I stopped doing the one thing when I pick up the new thing, though. I just
No,
continue to do all the things.
no, I know. I know.
Yeah. So once I acquired all the fishing rods, it was like, hey, I can afford to get some more pipes now. So I got all the pipes.
Mm-hmm.
And in the middle there with the fishing rods and the pipes, I somehow acquired all the studio equipment.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, quit making fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you. It's just, it's just.
I had one pipe for a while.
I have 0 pipes.
You don't smoke a pipe though. It's different. I stuck with one for a while, and now I'm like, hey, let's accumulate some more. Now that I know this is something I enjoy doing, I'm going to stick with.
Yeah.
I gave up cigars for pipes.
That's fine.
So
I was just expect a few more pipes to be coming along.
yes, yeah, there'll be at least 2 more that I can think of right now.
Yep.
Anyway, go ahead and do your readings.
The first reading, in constantly reforming our lives, we must check where God fits in our set of values. The tradition found in this reading teaches that God is not far away. Moses experienced him in the situation of the desert. Last week, the image of a smoking fire pot and a flaming torch was used to teach about God's presence. Today, it is again fire that symbolizes God's closeness. By using this imagery, the Old Testament teaches exactly the same thing that Paul taught in concise language. In him, we live and move and have our being. That's from Acts 17:28. Moses experienced God as one who cares, and during his life, he grew in intimacy with God, an example to be followed. Meditate on God's closeness and care by reading the responsorial psalm. Yes. All right, I got to read the responsorial psalm today,
Oh
guys.
no,
All right, so the
it's
first.
it's a good one.
No, I know.
Responsible song today is better than others. It's a good one.
It is, and in the description of the video that you are currently watching, it does have the actual, like, the verses that we're going to be reading. I did include the responsorial psalm, so that way if on your own time you wanted to go read these in their context or read them before the stream, you have been afforded that opportunity.
Yeah. Also, I believe the responsorial psalm, Psalm 51 today.
Mm, 103.
Oh, 103. Still another good one. So it's not the responsorial psalm's not the whole psalm. It's just parts of it.
Right.
It's a good 103 is a good one to go read the entire one. 51's a good one to read too. There's some that are better than others, and
That's true.
yeah. So go read Psalm 103. Well worth your time.
So the first reading today comes from Exodus. It's 3:1 through 8a, 13 through 15. A reading from the book of Exodus. Moses was tending the flock of his father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian. Leading the flock across the desert, he came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There, an angel of the Lord appeared to Moses in fire, flaming out of a bush. As he looked on, he was surprised to see that the bush, though on fire, was not consumed. So Moses decided, I must go over to look at this remarkable sight and see why the bush is not burned. When the Lord saw him coming over to look more closely, God called out to him from the bush, Moses, Moses. He answered, Here I am. God said, Come no nearer. Remove the sandals from your feet, for the place where you stand is holy ground. I am the God of your fathers, he continued, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look at God. But the Lord said, I have witnessed the affliction of my people in Egypt, and I have heard their cry of complaint against their slave drivers. So I know well what they are suffering. Therefore, I have come down to rescue them from the hands of the Egyptians and lead them out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Moses said to God, "But when I go to the Israelites and say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you,' if they ask me, 'What is his name?' what am I to tell them?" God replied, "I am who am." Then he added, "This is what you shall tell the Israelites: I am sent me to you." God spoke further to Moses, "Thus, thus shall you say to the Israelites: The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever. Thus I am to be remembered through all generations." The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. Now, see, it's not just me. Yeah.
I know that it's not just a him thing. I know that he's not the novelty here. Maybe it's just me being a little salty. I don't have a thing that I'm like that with.
Yes, you do. How many sewing machines you got in there that I paid for?
There's your sewing machine.
Whose sewing machine is it now?
I'm the one who uses it, but it was yours. And then I have my antique one that you found for me at the antique store, right?
And then how much fabric and crafting stuff and
First of all, not that this is like a one-for-one thing, but my sewing machine, my antique one, and all my fabric isn't even the same ticket price as one of your pipes.
it's not about the price, it's about the collecting the things.
That's where we're different, I guess. I'm the little fucking penny
Watch your mouth.
pension nickels moo Jew in the relationship, and you're like, I like thing. That's
Yeah.
where it comes from with me. Is like all of my stuff all together, like fabric that I turn into stuff and give to other people.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, you have your hobbies too.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
hobbies.
my lady hobbies.
Also, how many fly fishing rods and reels do you have?
How many would I have if my husband didn't buy them for me, even though I tell him I'm fine with my one Zebco that's $27.99 at Walmart?
Just saying.
I would have 0 rods if my husband didn't just hit the order button, and I would be fine with 0 rods.
Yeah. The people don't want to listen to you argue with me.
I know that they don't. I know that they don't want to listen to me argue with you. I'm just saying. I'm just being petty.
You
That's
are
all
being
it is.
petty.
Hey, at least I'm not actively petty and embezzling like I've been advised to by your own mother. Your own mother tells me to embezzle from you,
I know.
and I just can't make myself.
Well, she's an evangelical. What do you expect?
Hiya. Emotional damage. I love you, Mom, but I just can't make myself do it. I know I should. It'd be smart of me. I'd be less salty, but I just can't.
Yeah, I don't know if she's watching or not, Jeannie.
I don't know. She might.
She might be.
Oh, at some point she does.
Yeah.
It's her son. She knows how he is. He says these things to her face,
Yes.
and she just laughs it off because at the end of the day, that's her son, and she knows that he's joking. All right, so on to the responsorial psalm. It's going to be Psalm 103. Your part is, "The Lord is kind and merciful."
Mhm.
So when I do this, you guys are supposed to say, "The Lord is kind and merciful." All right, ready? "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all my being, bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. The Lord is kind and merciful. He pardons all your iniquities. He heals all your ills. He redeems your life from destruction. He crowns you with the kindness and compassion. The Lord is kind and merciful. The Lord secures justice and the rights of all the oppressed. He has made known his way to Moses and his deeds to the children of Israel.
The Lord is kind and merciful.
Merciful and gracious is the Lord, slow to anger and abounding in kindness. For as the heavens are high above the earth, so surpassing is his kindness towards those who fear him.
The
The
Lord
Lord
is
is
kind
kind
and
and
merciful.
That
All
was
right.
kind of fun.
Yeah. I don't know why you never want to do the Rust responsorial
I
song.
don't know. 'Cause it feels dorky.
Yeah. Being
Uh,
Catholic is kind of dorky, so
it very much is.
it's definitely the thinking man's Christianity.
And that's fine. I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
I've known that all my life. Okay, so that puts us into the second reading. The second reading is from Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 10, 1 through 6, and then 10 through 12. Avoid overconfidence.
Avoid it, Emily.
Never. Paul, I'm avoiding overconfidence by not picking Paul as my confirmation saint
Yeah.
because honestly, if Paul was yoked to me for the rest of my days, y'all better start counting yours. I just
Yeah.
settled into that a while ago. I was like, I don't think I can call on Paul when I need to, but like, I don't think it needs to be me and Paul. That's just, y'all don't deserve that.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause,
Speaking of, maybe after the readings, we'll talk about who we picked as our
oh, okay.
confirmation saints.
Yeah. We could do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so avoid overconfidence. Paul indicates how we should read the Bible. The sacred writers did not relate ancient traditions just to inform us. Neither does the church want us to listen to them every 3 years in order to entertain us. The Bible is not a bedside storybook. Inspired by God, the authors of the Bible want to teach us religious values by relating traditions of the past. In this passage, Paul refers to some events as he knew them from the Old Testament. Genesis 13, 14, 16, 17, Numbers 14, 20. And observes these things happened as examples for us. They have been written down as a warning to us. In reading the Bible, we should always try to find the point and apply it prayerfully to our own situation. A reading from the first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians. I do not want you to be unaware, brothers and sisters, that our ancestors were all under the cloud and all passed through the sea, and all of them were baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea. All ate the same spiritual food, and all drank the same spiritual drink. For they drank from a spiritual rock that followed them, and the rock was the Christ. Yet God was not pleased with most of them, for they were struck down in the desert. These things happened as examples for us, so that we might not desire evil things as they did. Do not grumble, as some of them did, and suffered death by the destroyer. These things happened to them as an example, and they have been written down as a warning to us, upon whom the end of the ages has come. Therefore, whoever thinks he is standing secure should take care not to fall. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Pretty solid.
Real quick.
Sure.
No, Christina, we have not been to
Ooh.
a Good Friday Mass yet.
No, we have not. We don't know. We don't know anything about Holy Week. I remember the first year we were.
And then Danny.
What did we say? What would the board be like? Oh boy.
That's a good question. I guess original sin wouldn't be a thing.
Les bon
There'd be no Satan left.
tolereux. Yeah. I don't. I don't know, Danny. That's a good question.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hungry mass. I'll tell you that.
The phrase isn't retrain your brain. It is not hunger that you're feeling. It's lack of substance in your stomach.
That's what hunger is.
No, it's not, dude. You have fat stores. Every person on the planet has fat stores.
Oh, I know. Doesn't mean you're
You
not hungry.
can-
You're not starving. You're hungry though. There's a difference.
But you suffer, like you're uncomfortable and you suffer because you're telling yourself that you're hungry, and then your brain says, "We could just eat." And by your brain, I mean Satan. He just says, "Well, you could just eat. You could just turn that rock into food. You could just eat." You're not, my stomach's empty. It will be filled.
Yeah.
Like, it's just empty right now. Not so much speaking to you, but anybody else out there dealing with the empty tummy rumbles. Your stomach's just empty. That's just the noise an empty stomach makes, right? The old adage, empty wagons make the most noise. You can't, don't succumb to it. Don't give in. You be fine.
Yes.
You be fine. Sip some water.
Yeah. During the Holy Week, from um Monday, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people call Holy Thursday. Monday, Thursday, Good Friday, through the Easter Vigil is going to be a bread and water fast.
Mm. We have people we can ask. Quick question, my Catholics, specifically Dingbat and Danny. Does buttered bread count when you're doing like a bread and water, or is it like legit just bread and water? Because I'm curious.
I'm pretty sure it's just
I'm
bread
sure it
and
is
water,
just bread and water.
but I'm not the
Tossing some
expert.
salted butter on a piece of bread is probably a huge cheat. But yeah, I don't know. If you guys give me that answer, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the only thing I'm gonna look forward to with this whole bread and water fast is like if I could just put some butter on it, I'll be fine. If not, I'll just be like, oh, bread and water, which is probably why butter is a no-go. So,
Yeah.
mm,
Butter is dairy. Xerox is right. Butter is dairy.
yeah. See, I know. That's the thing.
If you can't have cream in your coffee during a water and bread fast, then I'd imagine you can't have butter.
That's fine. I drink black coffee all the time.
Right, but I'm just saying for the same reason that you can't put cream in your coffee during those type of fast.
Right.
I'd
Then you
assume it's the
wouldn't be
same
able to
reason you
have
can't have butter.
the extra steps butter. Yeah. Okay. 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 All right. So the gospel theme, time to reform. It's going to be Luke 13, 1 through 9. This gospel tradition refers to violent reprisals by the Romans who occupied Israel during Jesus' lifetime. There were constant uprisings on the part of the Jewish people, and that finally culminated in the wholesale destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. According to popular thinking, disaster and suffering were caused by sin. Jesus corrects this way of thinking, but takes these incidents as a stepping stone to teach about penance and reform, using the parable of the fig tree to illustrate his lesson. This lesson is God's word for you and me. Check your priority of values and ask yourself where God fits in. Stating that everything is all right means stating that you are old and not growing anymore as a person. We need constantly ongoing reform and growth into what God has designed us to be for all eternity,
Yes.
which is really sweet that it says that because my mentality going into Lent is that this is like boot camp, and I'm fine with that. Like, this is every year until I die, I'm going to have 40 ish something days where I go into a boot camp of sorts to beat,
Right.
beat the world out of me
Yeah, pretty much.
without actually beating me. So,
Right. Yeah.
you know, I'm, I signed up for this. I like it.
Yeah, and after you read the gospel, we will talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
The how people a lot of times think that when bad things happen, that's punishment from God because you sinned.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
yeah. So go ahead and read the gospel. There's some things to discuss in this gospel reading today.
Yeah. Okay. So, again, we're doing Luke 13, 1 through 9.
Yeah.
Some people told Jesus about the Galileans whose blood Pilate had mingled with the blood of their sacrifices. Jesus said to them in reply, "Do you think that because these Galileans suffered in this way, they were greater sinners than all other Galileans? By no means. But I tell you, if you do not repent, you will all perish as they did. Or those 18 people who were killed when the tower at Siloam that how they said it earlier? Siloam, fell on them. Do you think they were not more guilty, or do you think they were more guilty than everyone else who lived in Jerusalem? By no means. But I tell you, if you do not repent, you will all perish as they did. And he told them this parable. There once was a person who had a fig tree planted in his orchard, and when he came in search of fruit on it but found none, he said to the gardener, "For 3 years now I have come in search of fruit on this fig tree, but have found none, so cut it down. Why should it exhaust the soil?" He said to him in reply, "Sir, leave it for this year also, and I shall cultivate the ground around it and fertilize it. It may bear fruit in the future. If not, you can cut it down." The gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. So there's two separate points here.
Mm-hmm.
There is the notion that when something bad happens to people, it's because they sinned.
Mm-hmm.
Because they sinned worse than I sinned, so therefore they are getting punished.
You mean like back in the old, like pre-70, 80 Jewish people, that's their running belief.
Yeah.
Because you had the one guy who was blind, can't remember his name, starts with a B, and he was blind, and like the Pharisees are actively saying, well, was it him who sinned, or was it his parents who sinned?
Right. Why was this man born blind?
Right.
Was it him or his parents that sinned?
Who sinned?
Neither. Yeah. So yeah,
although sin does bring suffering,
we live in a fallen world, and in a fallen world, bad things happen to people.
Mhm.
And whether you are a good person or a bad person, whether you sinned or you didn't sin, everybody sinned. But whether you're a horrible sinner or just an occasional sinner, like it doesn't matter. It has no weight on whether or not bad things happen to you.
Yeah, that's true.
All things happen according to God's plan, and we don't understand what that is.
Right.
But it has nothing to do with who sinned. So that's a big takeaway. Then the other thing is the parable of the fig tree,
Mm-hmm.
which just kind of goes to show that if you do not cultivate your spiritual life, you will wither and not produce fruit.
Yeah.
So you need to constantly be cultivating and fertilizing, doing things in your spiritual life to bear good fruit.
Yes.
So, and that's kind of what this parable says. Like, the guy's like, "Oh, this fig tree isn't producing figs. Cut it down."
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy's like, "Hey, maybe if we put a little effort into it,
Yeah.
if we cultivate it and fertilize it and do some things, it'll bear some fruit."
Yeah. I just you saying that just now, just in the back of my head, I was the thought somebody screeched, "Yeah, that's why Emily only gives most things 2 years."
Yeah.
Because I'm not just going to sit around and do all the things that I do for an extended period of time if there is no fruit, right? Like not that like I work hard, but like I put a lot of thought and effort and a lot of things into whatever it is that I do, and not that there's like a short window that I expect results in. But if like literally nothing is coming from something that I'm putting into, I'm out. I'll wipe my feet off and I'm out of there. 'Cause, like, I'm not just gonna waste this precious time that God has given me. I can cultivate other trees to produce fruit. Maybe those roots are dead. Maybe the beetles got to this tree and there is no fruit to be had from it. I did my cultivating. I did, you know what I mean? Like, I've done my cultivating and my nurturing and, fertilizing or whatever, and it's just like, "Okay, that's not it.
Mm.
That's not where the fruit's coming from. Go ahead and cut this tree down." I gave
Yeah, I mean that is also there is something to be said about that too. Especially comes to other people where you can put energy and effort into trying to help other people be better,
Mhm.
doing the cultivating and the fertilizing. But at the end of the day, if the roots are dead, if they choose not to do the work themselves, then at that point you cut down the tree,
Yeah,
or
that I'm
cut off the relationship, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
right.
Now, as Christians, we're called to not cut off relationships.
Yeah.
We are definitely called to love one another and continue to pray and encourage and hope for the best, but also not at your own expense.
Right, yeah, not at the detriment of you and your
Yeah,
salvation.
so you can still pray for people and wish better for them and try to encourage them when you can, but don't let them drag you down with them.
Right.
There is something to be said about that. But also, as Christians, you're not supposed to just close the door on people.
No, that's not I've gotten better at that. I don't do that anymore. I used to, when I was done with you, I'd block you on everything and fake my own death, but I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, good for you.
Thanks.
So, yes, at the end of the day, bad things don't happen because people sinned.
Right.
And if you're not doing the work and you're not reading the Bible and establishing a good prayer life, you're not going to bear the proper fruits.
Hmm.
And that's the most important thing about Christianity is you have to do the work. If you don't do the work, don't expect to uh, get the rewards.
Yeah.
Um,
What's that little,
faith without works is dead.
yeah. And what's that like children's story that every kid learns how to read? The little red hen, right? Where she's like, who will help me? Who will help me plant? And nobody wants to help her plant. And then when it's time to like eat the food, they all want to show up to eat the food, but she's like, y'all didn't help plant. Y'all wanted to go do other stuff.
Right. Yeah, you guys didn't do any of the work, but now you should. Well, that's human nature. Most people don't want to do any of the work, but they want to reap the rewards.
That's fallen human nature. That's the default,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So you have to actively, and this is where I guess maybe like it's I myself fell for these things, right? Like it's easy to fall into to be in that fallen human state of like, whoa, I don't want to actually do this. I just want the good. But at some point, you kind of you have to like be honest with yourself and be like, well, if I'm not actually doing anything good, then why do I think that I'm gonna get a good? That doesn't make any sense. That I wouldn't if somebody was always poorly to me, why would I be inclined to be good to them?
Yeah.
Like, that just didn't make any sense. Um, but it also, it's the default. It's the default to want things that you don't work for,
Right.
to think that you just deserve things, and we don't.
Right.
We don't. We kind of do just deserve to suffer
Yeah. No, I hear you. Um,
and to, like, I don't know, maybe to like
maybe
prove that we don't need to suffer.
maybe not a great example of that though is like this weekend. Per
Hmm.
se. I'm extremely sore right now.
Oh yeah,
Why? Because I spent all day yesterday in
hammering.
my buddy's shop working on my car.
Hmm.
Because I didn't want to spend $25,000 on a new car. Instead, I decided, you know what, I'm going to buy something that has a problem really cheap that I know I could fix in a day with a lot of hard work and
Hmm.
reap those rewards of my own hard work and not have to pay all that money.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
But now I'm all sore and I'm like, I should have spent the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, probably not the greatest example for a it's not a bad scenario of like, you can either put in the work or not,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
I still have like another week and a half before I'm whining about my arms, but as I start gardening and stuff and as I'm digging and everything, the work that I'm doing is going to be like physically the next day uncomfortable. But in 3 months from now, when I have fresh tomatoes and fresh bell peppers, and in 6 months when I have pumpkins, do you think I'm going to be whining and remembering how bad my arms hurt? No,
right, yeah.
no. And in the interim, I'm gonna give me some guns again. So like, there's really it's just the temporary discomfort for the long term, you know, the long term result. We don't spend $25,000 on a new car. We spend the few thousand and some work, and we get the same lifespan. We
Yep.
get the same lifespan of the car. It just means that his body hurts for a few days.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But then also we reap the rewards of, we want to go on vacation in a couple months.
Yeah,
Now we have all that money that we didn't spend on a vehicle.
right. Well, and also it's just mostly that monthly note.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's I mean, I'm sure that there's something in your life, some specific thing in your life that you could drop in to this situation or this scenario. And the more that we choose to look at things like that and choose to think of things in that big picture, that long term, the temporary sacrifice for long term gains, I think the better off that we will all be. Any of this new age therapy, woo woo law of attraction stuff is gives you the same formula, right? Small sacrifices equal big gains. It's just it's because it's a universal truth.
Yeah, it's almost like they're compounding too. The more small sacrifices you make, it's almost like compounding interest. You know what I mean?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
So so yes. So those were the readings today. Um, I enjoyed them. It's one of some of the better readings.
Yeah.
Um,
It was a nice mix.
yeah, yeah. So confirmation saints.
Oh, yes.
Emily, who did you pick as your confirmation saint?
I went with Saint Isidore the farmer.
Why?
Well, mostly because I thought Paul and I would conquer the world, and I didn't want that. That seemed like a lot of work, and that I would be quite insufferable.
Yeah, you're already insufferable.
I
So.
know, I already am insufferable. I already am everybody's Catholic extremist friend. Like, I'm already that person, and I'm not even 100% Catholic yet. So, like, I'm already there. I'm already there. So I was gonna go with Paul because his conversion feast day is my birthday. And then I was looking at Saint Scholastica, uh, and then we had All Saints Day at church, and I drew Saint Isidore the farmer was the one I got.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. And the other one that I got was Blessed Frassati, but he's not.
Yeah, I already asked about that. I wanted to go with Blessed Pierre Giorgio Frassati
Mhm.
myself. But I was told it had to be somebody who was canonized already.
Right. Yeah.
So
Well, so
that's funny, Dan. I thought about St. Christopher because we travel so much.
yeah.
That was on my list.
Yeah, so it was St. Paul first, Saint Scholastica was another one. And then Saint Isidore was the one that I drew on All Saints Day. And uh I settled on Saint Isidore A because I prayed because I was like, which one of the three is for me? Like which one of these three am I supposed to go with? Just give me reassurances, give me signs, show me who it's supposed to be. So I got looking into Saint Isidore the farmer. His first original feast day was October 25th, which is my namesake, my mom's grandma, Irma Emmeline Ross, Emily Emmeline. That's her birthday is October 25th. Uh, that was his original feast day. And then it was changed to April 7th, which is my sister's birthday. And then it was changed to May 15th.
Yes.
And May 15th is the day that I got to come home from sending somebody to prison and close a chapter on my life and never look at that book again. And it wasn't even the chapter, it was a book. It's a whole book that I got to throw away. And I don't even have to look at it again. That's a little exaggerating, but like it's an important day to me. And so I was like, well, Saint Isidore the farmer it is. And also he's the patron saint of peasants, farmers, and rural or peasants, farmers, and agriculture. And he's also some rural society, something. I don't know. I live in the corn and soy fields, and hearing the story of Saint Isidore the farmer being late to work because he's going to mass. That's me. I'm going to morning mass, and if I choose to stay and hang out and I show up late to something after church, I'm not going to apologize. I'm here. I came. And the farmer thing. As soon as it's warm enough to be outside digging in the dirt, as soon as the dirt is thawed enough to dig in and plant stuff in, that's what I'm doing. I'm out
Right.
there. I am barefoot. I he gets home from work and I'm barefoot in the yard covered in dirt and I'm like, "Ah, my day's over now. Let me go scrub all this off."
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
That's usually how it goes. So, I went with Saint Isidore the farmer.
Okay, nice.
Who did you go with?
That's none of your business. That's a personal thing.
Yeah,
We don't
that's fine.
talk about. No, I'm just kidding. I went with Saint Bernard of Monjou or Saint Bernard of Menton, depending on who to call it.
On how you pronounce it. So
Well,
the other
no, they're just Menton was the castle he grew up in.
Oh, okay, okay.
But yes, so he's known by both of Menton or Saint Bernard of Monjou. Um, and I chose him because he is the patron saint of backpackers and mountaineers. And what are
Yeah.
my two favorite things to do?
Yeah, in the Alps, right?
And the Alps.
In the Alps, yeah.
And yes, my favorite things to do are other than fishing. Well, it's part
Fishing
of
in alpine lakes.
fishing. Yes, backpacking and mountaineering are two of my favorite things to do.
Mhm.
I've done it for decades. And yeah, fishing is just something that came about from doing those things.
Mhm.
Um, so it just seemed a good fit for me, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
And he set up these hospices on these treacherous mountain passes between the uh, French and Swiss Alps.
Mhm.
So pilgrims that would be going to Rome would have to cross these treacherous mountain passes that were covered in snow year round, that were very dangerous, and so they would set up hospice there and give people shelter and food, and would go out and look for people that would be sick,
Yeah.
or maybe dying
They're
out there.
taking a little bit too long to get here.
Yep, and
Yeah. Okay.
they had the trained dogs, which is where the Saint Bernard dog came from.
Okay.
So Saint Bernard, the breed Saint Bernard dogs were what they trained and had with them to go and rescue pilgrims that would be um
Nice.
so yeah. So yes, Saint Bernard's the patron saint of dogs as well. Patron saint of skateboarders too. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's also the patron saint of alpine skiers,
Oh, okay.
which turned into the patron saint of snowboarders, which
Right, which
turned
turns
into the
into
patron saint of
skateboarding.
skateboarding. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
that makes sense.
Um,
That makes sense.
but yes, so I chose Saint Bernard because I love the mountains,
Mhm.
and so yes, when I'm in the mountains, I can hang out with my patron saint.
There you go.
I love the Alps too. You know that.
Yeah.
Love the Alps. Alps are my happy place.
Pretty beautiful.
Yes, yes. I got to take Emily to the Alps, and it was a mind blowing experience.
It was pretty awesome. It
So
was pretty awesome.
so yes, I chose Saint Bernard, and do you know when Saint Bernard's feast day is?
No one.
May 28th.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
we got our feast days, 2 weeks apart.
Relatively close.
Yeah.
Sweet. Sweet.
So in May we'll be busy.
Right. That's fine. Oh no, a busy month.
Yeah.
As if everyone isn't.
Yeah, right?
As if there isn't things going on anyway.
Mhm.
So yeah, so we have yeah, we picked our patron saints.
We also had to
We
pick a
turned
Bible
those in.
verse.
Yeah, they had us they had us
Yeah.
put a Bible verse down.
They asked your patron saint and your favorite Bible verse, and I don't know what that was about. But what is your favorite Bible verse, Emily?
Jeremiah 33:3.
Which is?
Um Ask and it shall be shown to you.
Okay.
Ask of God and he'll give it to you basically.
Okay.
I'll pull up the exact verbiage of it. But it's one of the ones that I remind myself like you dumb beezy if you have not cuz you ask not. And it's also a fun number one. Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and will show thee great things and difficult which thou knowest not. Call to me, and I will answer you. I will tell you great and mysterious things that you do not know.
Okay.
Right, depending on whatever flowery language you do. But basically, if you have any questions, you have to ask God because He's the only one who can answer them for you.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that one's always been one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's one of the only ones I can quickly throw it out and know that I know that one as soon as I say it and like whoever's gonna regurgitate it to me, I'll know that you know the same verse. So,
Okay. Yeah.
and what was yours?
Mine was Matthew 8:8. You don't need to look it up, right? I know.
Oh, okay. What is it?
You don't know it?
I don't know.
Lord, I am not worthy that you should enter under my roof, but only say the word, my servant shall be healed.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I am not worthy of the
Right.
Lord, and
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay.
I still can't believe that He would accept somebody like me with all with the past that I have.
Word.
But He does.
Yeah.
I've been assured of it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You ain't busted it up
but
in the
I
flames
am
yet.
definitely not worthy. So that is definitely one of my favorite verses.
Nice. There you go.
No, yeah. What else we got to talk
I
about?
kind of hope that they don't do something embarrassing, like you know how like when athletes go, like if we're at the baseball game and they got their walkout song.
Oh yeah.
I hope they're not
I don't
gonna,
think they're gonna walk out first.
you know what I mean? Yeah, but that's what I'm thinking.
Ugh.
Like I hope that that's not what the plan is. Um, we could talk about because we're the last RCIA class
Oh,
to
we
ever.
are the yeah.
We're the last RCIA. All of the adult catechumens who are going through and going to be confirmed in Easter. We are the last RCIA class.
Yes.
This is the Easter of 2025. After this September, everything after all the people after us are going to be OCIA.
Yeah. Which is
Um, gonna be interesting.
What
I
does it stand for again? I don't even remember.
Order of
Order of
Christian
Christian. Yeah, instead of
instead of a
rites,
rite.
instead of rite of Christian initiation for
Yeah.
adults, it's order of Christian, and it's more that
See, I wasn't gonna go any further than the name is changing because knowing that uh Eric and Erica are gonna be in class again next year because I
mm,
confirmed.
they're not going to be in class. Once you do the class, you're done the class. They just got to wait for his annulment stuff to go through, and then they will be confirmed at some point outside of Easter.
Well, when I asked them if they have to do the class, if they're doing the class again next year, they said they were.
Okay, they shouldn't have
Maybe
to.
they're not under. Maybe
I
they
don't think
don't
they. I
know
don't
that
think
they
they
don't have to
know.
do it again.
No,
Okay.
because remember,
I plan
like
on
last month or
auditing.
whatever, somebody that went through the class last
Yeah, yeah,
year
yeah.
wound up getting confirmed because their annulment came through, and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I know that it can be done like after the thing. But I do
Well, they did
intend.
miss a lot of class. Maybe that's why they have to go through again. I don't know.
Yeah, I intend on auditing next year's class because I'm a nosy Rosie, can't help myself, and I want to know if it was just my class that is taught like this. I'm definitely not going to be there every Sunday, but I do have intentions of like sitting in on a few classes just to be like just just refreshing my notes, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
No,
Really, I'm just spying because I want to know if the curriculum, if the not necessarily curriculum, but if the format,
it's going to
if the
change with the
if
name
the yeah, if the information changes.
and comes less Catholic.
Right, because it already is deeply lacking. If
Yes,
it's
it
any
is
less than
lacking, but I will say it hasn't been bad.
no, it hasn't been
It
bad.
hasn't been as bad as I thought it was going to be with the post-conciliar, poorly catechized, catechizing
Mhm.
people. Like, it hasn't been as bad as I thought it was going to be. And there's been some things that were pleasant surprises, and there was one or two things that was like, "Ooh, I can't believe you just said that." Um,
Yeah.
I don't know, Dan. I go back and forth about this whether I'm going to lector or not.
Oh, it definitely would be him. It's not going to be me. I'm
Yeah,
not reading to the
women
whole
shouldn't be
church.
speaking in church.
I don't okay, Dan, you haven't necessarily been in the chat very long and I can't do it sitting in my chair. But you know how when you're at church and you sit in the pews and if you're a certain height, your shoulder blades sit on the tippy top of the pew? Okay. When I first started going to Catholic church and one of these old biddies would get up there and start reading, I would like push my shoulder blades out and like rest my shoulder blades on the top of the pew because I felt so wrong. It felt like such a wrong thing to be done that I needed to do some active sort of penance for what was being done because like I don't even me reading the readings on our show at the beginning made me uncomfortable. I didn't really like it. A, I don't like reading out loud. I don't like reading out loud, but I've gotten better at it. And I don't hate it anymore. But B, it's also like women aren't supposed to teach. We're not supposed to teach adults. We teach little baby children and we correct other women. We do not teach the masses. Groups of people, not like actual mass, but like groups of people. We
No,
don't that's not our job. That's
catechizing the
not
children is really the woman's job.
yeah, yeah. We teach the children and we, can like discuss with the other women. We do not teach the groups of people. So women lectors make my skin crawl. I hate it. I hate it. So it's not gonna be me. I am not lecturing.
Yeah, so I go back and forth with this, whereas I have this deep-seated belief that the ladies should not be involved in the mass like that.
Mm-hmm.
The ladies' job at mass is to show up and receive the Eucharist.
Mm-hmm.
I very much prefer the traditional mass for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
But also, um, when as doing some more deeper diving into the faith and reading and rereading some things, especially like I've been sitting around today reading Saint Ignatius of Antioch again, and you know the for most people who don't know, he's one of the earliest church fathers. He was born around the time Jesus died, and was one of the early martyrs. He was an apostle of John and Paul.
Mm-hmm.
John, the apostle John and Paul, obviously. Um, so he was definitely an early church father, and the overarching
Theme.
theme to his epistles are is obedience to the bishop,
Mm-hmm.
following the bishop. Without the bishop, there is no church. And so, with that being said, what the Bishop of Rome, the Pope, says is that this is the order of the Mass now,
Mm-hmm.
and that the laity need to get up and do their part.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then also, I feel like, all right, well, if I don't get up and do it, there's just going to be more.
Somebody else is
It's just
gonna.
going to be more 7-year-old women up there. There's going to be more boomer women up there doing it. That's going to make me cringe every time they do it.
Yep.
So I will probably wind up doing some lecturing, to be honest with you. For the
simple fact of if he doesn't do it, who else will?
right.
And that's where I said, like, I'm not gonna do it. It'll be him. I'll make him do it. And not make him do it, but I'll suggest and I'll encourage him to do it. And to Christina's point, when the children read mass, like when the children do the readings on Friday school mass, that doesn't bother me. I love hearing them stumble over words. I love seeing them be up there awkward and timid and trying to figure out how to speak to a group of people like I admire that. I think that that's important for children to do, right? Because at some point you're going to have to make a presentation at work. You're going to have an awkward conversation with your friend group, you know what I mean? Like you're going to have those moments where you can handle all these people looking at you and you're delivering information. I think that's good for children. But once you're no longer a children and you're a grown woman, no, it's not our job. And the other side of it is like not that they're not good readers, but like they're not.
What were we saying now? Sorry.
Rick, I got my hair down today. I'm not, there's
I'm just waiting on her to get me the garb.
I
Rick.
know.
It's really on her.
He keeps buying pipes.
Yes. Instead of whaling hats, I keep buying more pipes.
Yep. So
don't blame me. Blame Caleb from the Catholic Pipe Company.
Yeah, I guess I'll blame the Catholic pipe company for making such good pipes that he can't say no to.
Right. Yeah. Hey, I didn't buy that new church warden.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
I did. I should have, but I didn't.
I'm kind of glad you
did. Awesome. I can have a pipe I'd be holding out here and smoking. A big old church warden. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So, but yeah, back to what I was saying about the lady, the not laity, the lay why.
Connie and Raven Free for the same reason.
Honestly, see, and that's kind of
stumbling over words like little kids.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Like it's kind of cutesy. It's like, oh, look at you trying so hard. I can almost see the smoke coming out your ears.
Well, if you like watching people struggle to read, check out Tuesdays with Tommy.
JC does. He's there.
I read fine until you put a camera in front of me, and then it's all then it's different. Like, yeah, then it's like, what is that word?
Yeah.
What is that word that I used 4 times today? I don't know how to read that.
Yeah. So it's just I don't know. It's not that they're poor readers. It's like they don't do it well. And I almost like I'm tired of it being done poorly. It's such an important thing. It should be done well.
Yeah.
And I also understand that like not every parish has the like they don't have, they're lucky to have the one priest. They're lucky to have maybe 2 deacons. They're lucky to get to borrow a seminarian for a few weeks so that way they can do their like mandatory trainings and stuff. But like not every parish is fully staffed to be able to have what am I thinking of? Clergy, I guess maybe is the word. Do the readings. And also after Vatican II, it's to bring the laity into the mass. And so now we have a job because they thought we wanted a job. And those people who wanted the job are almost no longer here with us anymore. So,
right. So yeah, we'll see what changes come in 10 years. But until then, I will probably do my part and get up there and lecture just to prevent, 90-year-old Susan from getting up there and doing it.
And for what it's worth, the other day I stayed after mass. I had a terrible migraine and I stayed after mass to like just collect myself in the event that I needed to projectile vomit on my way out to my car. I did not want to have to run over a Mima to get to
Hold
the
on.
bathrooms to projectile vomit.
Did we miss something here?
No, I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about, Rick, but okay.
You'll have to fill me in on that later, or I guess maybe I'll just watch Connie's show. I don't know. Was it on Schizo or was it on his show? Either way, you'll have to fill me in on what happened. I don't know. But anyways, I stayed after mass one day last week when I had a really bad migraine, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like trying to breathe and not vomit everywhere. And one of the old biddies, who is also a Eucharistic minister,
Oh yeah.
she was up there, and Joseph, our resident deacon, not deacon, deacon.
He has some position with the church, but I don't know.
I don't know what his position is. I've heard quite a few different stories. He is married. I know that he went to seminary and discerned out. So like he's in it, but like he's of it, but not in it.
Mm-hmm.
So he was up there, showing her, this is where we stand when you open the book, and she was like trying to read some readings. Please no. Please no. Just no. She made it like 4 words, and every one of them was mispronounced. And I couldn't tell you just because of like where my head was and like how terrible I felt at the time. But I was just like, God, please do not make me suffer this. If it be your will, let this cup pass me by.
Right.
Please. Whatever it is she's planning on reading for, don't let me be here that day.
It's gonna be weekday masses.
It's probably going to be Tuesday, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a Sunday mass. It's almost guaranteed.
I'm putting a crisp $2 bill on the bar that it will be the ladies' mass on Tuesday. It's going to be the Tuesday night, 5 p.m. She's probably going to be the first reader.
Yeah,
She'll probably be the one reading. That's my guess.
JC says watch 5 hours of Schizo to learn more.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh, I'll take your guys' word for it.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
Why would
Slash, I'll also watch it after Lent.
why would Q lie to me about that?
Yeah, he wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't. Oh.
Oh,
I'm mad at one of our deacons too. Dingbat.
which one? Oh, Deacon Rick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mr. Heresy himself.
yeah. We covered that on the show already.
Yeah, we did. We covered that way back. at
He
the beginning of
reiterated the
RCIA.
heresy that was supposedly put out by the Pope. I say supposedly because I never actually saw him say that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was all over the internet. So I mean, why would the internet make it up?
The one where everything leads.
All religions are a path to God or
Oh,
whatever.
I've seen Pope Francis say that.
Okay.
He's sitting on the stage at some big
Okay, well,
it was some big get together with a whole bunch of different denominations. It was almost like a Davos style event where like everybody was there for something. I don't remember what they were all there for, but it's like it was Francis, some clearly Buddhist dude, some clearly other ladies, sit to peas,
right.
and some other pastor like looking people. And he did say, there's truth in all of it. And what I understand,
Well, whether
and
he
there's
said there's
truth in all of it, and
it.
it all leads to God.
Yeah, so whether there's truth, so the way it was made to sound on the internet and the way that the deacon put it
Mhm.
was that all religions lead to God and even Muslims can go to heaven.
That is what Rick said.
Yes. Now that is not what I heard the Pope say.
That's not what I heard the Pope say either. But
Now,
being charitable.
yes, now this is being charitable too. I'm not just because I'm not going to sit here and badmouth the Pope, even if I disagree with him.
Yeah.
It has been said in the past by previous popes that all religions can lead you eventually to the proper Catholic Church. Meaning, like, okay, I'm a Muslim, and because I had faith in God as a Muslim, when I found the truth faith eventually, Catholicism and Jesus Christ, it was a lot easier for me to accept, and I already had a baseline of proper worship in a way because I am used to, so in a way that can be a path that eventually gets you to God.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not that's what Pope Francis actually said or what he meant to say, I don't know. But
Yeah.
I can tell you what Deacon Kevin or what Deacon Rick
It
said
was just straight up
was just
heresy.
straight up heresy. Yes.
So my being charitable is similar to the conversation Emily and I had. I think it was like on Thursday. Was uh, specifically with the Jewish women and their mikvahs, and regular, normal, non-Jewish women having this desire to re-establish their femininity at least like once a month. At least once a month, most women have this desire to be very much the lady, right? Like we want to pluck our eyebrows, we want to shave our legs, we want to moisturize our skin, we want to trim our fingernails and paint them up, and we want to put on a nice outfit, and we want to maybe put on some makeup, and we want to feel like a desirable woman. That's a universal truth, and it usually comes somewhere after your period. But the Jewish women, they do it. That's the ceremony that they have to become clean again after their uncleanness. And so it's one of those things where it's just a truth. It's just a good and true thing that is in us because God has given us that, right? Like however you express it, if it's something that continues to reappear throughout time and history, regardless of where you live on the planet, regardless of the society that you're in, this is something that most women have the desire to do. And in my opinion, that just means that it's a good and true thing. So in that same sense, if you do, like you said, if you're a faithful Mohammedan and you have the religious structure and you have the faith, and then you find the truth of Catholicism, you just transfer
Yeah.
all of that over to being
A good Catholic.
a good Catholic.
Yeah.
Because the desire to have someone, a God that you worship, is ingrained in you. It's something that God puts on your soul because it's a good and true thing. Now, does that mean that you're supposed to worship the NFL? No, but that's what some people do with it. Does that mean you're supposed to worship Buddha? No, but that's what some people do with it. So it's our job to discern the correct way to do those things. But if it's one of the things that just keeps coming up and keeps coming up, and no matter where you're at, no matter who you run into, it's a universal truth. That's, in my opinion, how you know it's from
Yeah.
God. And
Okay.
when I hear Pope Francis say all religions lead to God, sure, yes, if you sit with it long enough, you'll get to the Catholic Church. You'll keep
Yeah.
digging, you'll keep walking, you're trying to catch up to Jesus and follow Jesus, you'll end up at his church he left you.
So two things I want to address.
Yes.
Q. So with the Pope condemned. He did not condone. He
Propagees.
condemned, not condoned faggots in the church.
Oh no, condemned.
His exact words were, "There's too much faggotry in the seminaries."
There shouldn't be any
Yeah.
faggotry in the cemeteries.
What the Pope said is, "There's too much faggotry in the seminaries," and he told the bishops to stop admitting faggots into the seminaries.
Yes.
That needs to stop now.
Yes.
Now I also anybody who's watched this show knows I'm no Pope splainer.
Mm-hmm.
I've had my fair share of bad things to say about the Pope in the past. But what I will say is, a lot of the bad things that I have heard from the Pope come from news articles and things by the likes of Wall Street Journal, or I mean Washington Post and CNN and New York Times. So how much of that is them trying to sow discord in the Catholic Church?
Oh, for sure. All of it.
So to what Xerox's point here, which is I 100% agree with, is the Pope is saying all kinds of crazy shit, but thankfully not from the chair. And true, from the chair, anytime he speaks, it has been proper doctrine. So which leads me to believe that is some of the stuff that you've heard on CNN or New York Times been carefully edited or cherry picked.
Yep, it's a cherry picked soundbite.
Maybe it is. I don't know. Now I do know that the Pope and his new synodal church stuff is not great.
No.
So I'm not going to sit here and be a Pope splainer and say that the Pope is actually based, because I've but I'm also not going to sit here and badmouth the Pope as a Catholic because he is, he is the leader of the church. He is the vicar of Christ. He is the head of the church.
Mm-hmm.
So whether I agree with him or not on a lot of things, I will not sit here and badmouth him.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm kind of on the stance with Xerox. Is I've heard him say some ridiculous things, but not from the chair, and that's what's most important.
Yep.
Is not from the chair. If you hear it start coming from the chair, then it's time to start worrying about things.
Then
But
we can start saying, I don't like that.
yeah.
But if he's on a stage having a conversation with just regular humans, and this is maybe wrong of me, but there is a difference between the Pope in the chair and the Pope, the human being,
Yes.
Bergoglio,
Yeah, the
right? Like
Pope's personal opinions.
he's the same person, right? He has two roles in the same person, but if he's on the stage having discussions with regular old people, then he's just Bergoglio. He's just saying things to say things to have a conversation.
Yeah, also,
And he's just just a sweet little old man, right? Like we had so much compassion and annoyance for the way that Joseph Robinette Biden was treated. Where's the same compassion and concern for Bergoglio?
yeah,
Where's that at?
I just,
He's just a sweet old man.
yeah, I don't know about that much, but,
It's easier for me to paint him as a sweet old man than to actually
paint him as a
feel
heretic. Yeah,
than to feel the feelings that
yeah.
will.
I will just say that the Pope as a person, you're allowed to disagree with his opinions.
Mhm.
Uh, he's allowed to have his opinions. Now, some of them may or may not be heresy.
Mhm.
And whether or not he's allowed to have heretical opinions is debatable. I don't know. I'm not schooled in these deep theology type things. But I don't know. What I know is what's important. What he says as doctrine.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? If his opinions are different than church doctrine, it's not great. But if he expresses his opinion, and when he talks from the chair about doctrine, his doctrine is sound.
Right.
It is the actual Catholic dogma and doctrine of the church.
Mhm.
Then you know what I mean. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But as long as from the chair he's teaching proper doctrine and dogma, that's all that really matters.
Yeah. As long as he's doing his actual job
So
properly.
until those opinions that maybe contradict doctrine
Mhm.
come out from the chair and they're no longer opinions, they're official church teachings,
Right.
that
Then there's no reason to
then
have
there's
an
no
issue.
reason to sound alarm bells at this point yet. Is all I'm saying.
True.
And I will continue to give the Pope the benefit of the doubt until that day comes. Once that day comes, then we'll start worrying about sedevacantism and stuff like that.
Yeah. Then we'll have those. We'll cross that bridge if we get to it. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like, I mean, it was kind of hit or miss on where most people stood on Joseph Robinette Biden, but like for the most part, we kind of all saw that it was the old man getting hopped up on drugs and put in front of a camera.
Well, okay, so in his presidency, it was clearly an old man with dementia that was just a sock puppet for people behind the scenes that were actually making the calls. So it
Yeah.
didn't really matter. You couldn't get mad at Biden for things that were happening during the Biden presidency because he wasn't the one who was actually making the decisions.
Right.
You can be mad at Biden for the
For
50
all the
years
50 years
for the 50
prior to
years
that.
of prior to that he did horrible, shitty things that he should be
Yeah.
shot and hanged for.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
for sure.
he doesn't get a pass just because he was a sweet old man that was getting taken advantage of as president. He had more than his fair share of horrible things that he had done to the American people in the 50 years as a congressman, as a senator.
Hey, I agree. He sent countless
He sent
men
millions
to
of people to prison for crack
the
cocaine
same
in the
thing that
90s.
his son did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then when his son does it, he gives him a pardon.
Yep.
Or
So-
just pretends that it didn't happen and tells people to drop charges.
Yep.
So
It's Russian disinformation.
yeah,
So, but yeah, I guess maybe that was a poor example, but it can be found people having sympathy for the poor little old man,
yeah,
Biden.
yeah.
And I think that mostly it's because
And
it's the Pope
at the
that
Pope's
charity is
age and his
offered.
poor health, it very well could be people behind the strings making these shots, and he's not the wiser to it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's where I choose to be because in my experience, not for nothing, but after like 70, you're someone should be taking care of you. Someone should be taking care of you and looking out for you because you've had 70 years on the planet and God only knows what's going on in your brain.
Yeah.
Like I just, you know.
Yeah.
You should be, knitting and crocheting and watching the deer in the backyard.
And also, one thing I would like to put out about the Pope is that, like him, dislike him, um, everybody should have been praying for him in his sickness. And I know I was. And he has made somewhat of a recovery. Apparently he is being discharged from the hospital.
Good.
So I don't know that he's going to have much longer time as Pope or for this world, just because he's an elderly man.
Mm-hmm.
He's an elderly man with 1.5 lungs, who is prone to illness.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at all how the shape of his face has changed over the. You can tell that's not just age. That is definitely
sickness.
it's
and
bloating.
inflammation.
Inflammation. It is. So continue to pray for the Pope. Don't wish ill on him.
Right.
And just pray that we get a Pope next that is a little more clear on things.
Yeah.
That is a little less
murky.
Yeah, that maybe you're not going to take out of context, or you know what I mean. You don't have to explain things away that he says,
Yeah.
or you don't have to disagree with. Just pray for a
good
pope with a little more clarity. I won't even say a holier pope or a better pope, just one that speaks with more clarity.
Yeah.
And teaches proper doctrine, from the chair and out of the chair.
That's a prayer to do.
So yeah, just continue to pray for the Catholic Church as a whole. Is
a pretty solid game plan.
And yeah, Q, zero sympathy for the wicked. Sympathy is a weird word to use for that. I don't necessarily feel sympathy for the wicked. I feel sorrowful for the wicked.
Mm-hmm.
I wish the wicked would repent and turn from their wicked ways. But I guess I'm at a point in my life and in my walk with the Lord that I don't wish ill will on people. I don't care how shitty they are to me anymore. I don't. There used to be a time in my life where I would actively seek these people out to do them bodily harm and do bodily harm to them.
Yeah. Same.
But at this point, I more feel bad for these people. I don't know.
It's really gonna suck for you at some point in the future, and that's all of your wrongs will make their way back to you.
Yeah.
And that's something that I don't think that you're prepared to deal with.
Don't get me wrong. I still see these idiots on Twitter, and I read and I do the doom scrolling, and I get myself a little worked up, and I feel the seething hatred bubbling up in me, and that's when I got to put it down and pray and just be like, no, this is not Christian of me.
Yep.
I can either ignore them, I can pray for them to be better. But by me sitting here getting mad and worked up and wishing ill will on them is not doing any of us any good.
Yeah.
It's not doing me any good. All I'm doing is stressing myself out, because in anger, and bringing sin upon myself by wishing ill upon them.
Right.
And having the thoughts of, if I could get this person in a room for 5 minutes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just give me 5 minutes alone with this idiot.
Yep.
But none of that's good for me or that person.
Nope.
So I've just decided to step back and, at this point in my life, pray about it and just ignore it. I'll just ignore them. It's easier for me to ignore them than for me to get all worked up about it. And did I hit that and get it all knocked out of whack? Yeah.
I got it.
So anyway, yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at in my life at this point. Now, I'm not going to say that I'd never get angry at I get angry more often than not, but I let it pass quickly anymore.
Yeah.
I let it pass very quickly, and then I just pray about it. And just say, Lord, help these people. Instead of me beating the crap out of them, how about you just work in their life and make them a less crappy person?
Yeah. Yeah, his turnaround is faster than mine. I have gotten better. If you guys hung out with me Friday morning on Morning Crew, it's a red pen that I can drop now. I've dropped it. They haven't, which is whatever. They can keep screeching into the abyss. I'm gonna ignore them. The school board stuff.
Oh yeah.
So they're gonna keep being mad and spiteful and vomiting their hate, and that's fine. And I'm just gonna ignore them, and I'll get the notifications, and I'll be like, you're still going. That's crazy. But yeah, it's it's a better way to handle things.
Yeah. It's the Christian way to handle things.
It is, yeah.
It's the way Jesus would want you to handle things.
Ezekiel 33:7 through 20. Let me pull that up real quick.
Oh, hey, I can just do this.
33:7 through
Babe?
20. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can pull it up.
I can pull it up here. Let me get to my see. Was it 33?
I don't know. You have to go over to the comments because I'm getting 32, not 33. 33
33,
7.
720. Oh. Why is that not coming up?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's Ezekiel 32. Do.
No?
It goes right there. Ezekiel.
Oh, that's where it was.
Sorry. Pause.
Yeah. Sorry guys. I'm struggling with this.
The plug-in. It's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't come up.
Yeah, so it is 32 7.
Oopsie.
Ooh.
Ezekiel 1. Oh. Ezekiel 33. 7. There it is, right there. So Ezekiel 33, 7. So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word at my mouth and warn them from me. When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die if thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way. That I can't barely read that. Can you read that?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
When I say unto the wicked, O wicked man, thou shalt surely die, if thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way. That wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. 9. Nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his way to turn from it, if he do not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Therefore, O thou Son of Man, speak unto the house of Israel. Thus ye speak, saying, If our transgressions and our sins be upon us, and we pine away from them, how should we then live? Say unto them, As I live, saith the Lord God, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but that the wicked turn from his way and live. Turn ye from your evil ways, for why will ye die, O house of Israel? Therefore, thou Son of Man, say unto the children of thy people, the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgressions. As for the wickedness of the wicked, he shall not fall thereby in the day that he turneth from his wickedness, neither shall the righteous be able to live for his righteousness in the day that he sinneth. When I shall say to the righteous that he shall surely live, if he trust in his own righteousness and commit iniquity, all his righteousness shall not be remembered. But for his iniquity that he hath committed, he shall die for it. Again, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, if he turn from his sin and do that which is lawful and right. If the wicked restore the pledge, give again that he had robbed, walk in the statutes of life, without committing iniquity, he shall surely live, he shall not die. None of his sins that he hath committed shall be mentioned unto him. He hath done that which is lawful and right, he shall surely live. Yet the children of thy people say, The way of the Lord is not equal, but as for them, their way is not equal. When the righteous turneth from his righteousness and committeth iniquity, he shall even die thereby. But if the wicked turn from his wickedness and do that which is lawful and right, he shall live thereby. Yet ye say, the way of the Lord is not equal, O ye house of Israel. I will judge you every one after his ways.
The word of the Lord.
Praise be to God.
Thanks be to God.
Thanks be to God.
Yes. So okay, yeah, that was
Sweet.
very apt.
Yeah. Nice.
So yes,
Nailed it,
thank you,
Nether
Nether Knight. That was
Nailed it.
yeah.
Anger is normal, just can't let it rule you. True.
Yeah.
True.
Absolutely.
Pterodactyl screech. Yes. Yes. We can pterodactyl screech about it, but we can't actually be
Yeah.
mad about
So
it.
I can't read the comments and the Bible verse at the same time, so we're gonna have to catch up on the comments here.
That's I don't wish harm anymore, but it doesn't hurt my feelings when God bestows harm upon ye who deserveth to feel the wrath of the evil they haveth poured over thou victims. Word.
Yes.
Yes. No,
That is
I love seeing me some comeuppance.
yeah.
I love to see it. It
Yeah, yeah.
brings me greatest joy.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna feel bad when they get what they deserve, but I'm also not gonna waste my time being angry.
Yeah, no. I'm just going to be like, yeah, you know, God, you know what they need. Go ahead and give it to them.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give it to them. They really want it. So, surely. Yeah.
Surely.
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 Not Shoresy. Surely.
Yes.
So is it just like the size of the font that was an issue, or was it like the King James flowery
It was the size of
wording?
the font. I couldn't.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you noticed. I was sitting here doing this.
Yeah. I did. I caught that in my peripherals, but
It's
then
the
I
size
was.
font, and it's also the way the letters show up on this particular screen.
Mhm.
You know how that's an issue.
Yeah, because it's a TV screen and not a monitor.
Right. If it was the monitor, I could read a little clearer.
Yeah.
That's why when I do my Tuesday shows and I have my bullet points up, I have it like the words are that big. So,
Yeah.
because I'm not going to put on my reading glasses.
Yep.
Yes. So it was the size and the screen that were throwing me.
Yeah. So the widget only has the KJV on there. I mean
It has the NIV too, but I'm not subjecting people to the NIV.
yeah, I was just about to say it only has the KJV. That's the only usable one.
Yeah,
in
it doesn't have
our
any of the
opinion.
Catholic edition Bibles.
And for what it's worth, I'm used to reading that one. I'm very, fine with the these and the thous and the
Yeah, no,
surelys.
that doesn't bother me.
I felt like I read that one with less hesitation than I read my missal with.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wait, these are just regular English words in here?
Yes. So anyway, so we've been going for about an hour and a half, and I got to work in the morning, so
Oh, yeah.
I think this is where we're gonna call it.
Do you remember what prayer this is?
I
I
don't.
know it's a Francis of, it's a Francis of Assisi one, isn't
I
it?
believe so.
Okay.
But you want to end with that?
Yeah, we'll end with this one. I guess I'll show you guys this fun little prayer card. Let's see. You can look up the Francis of Assisi crucifix. You can find it online.
Well, you're not gonna catch that with the lights. Sorry.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. It's such a bright prayer that
Let
you
me see.
can't
Hold on
even
a
see
second.
it.
What if I go past the lights? There
Oh
it
yeah.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might
If you go past the lights, you can kind of see it.
Might have been able to read this. And Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Okay. Most high, glorious God, cast your light into the darkness of my heart. Give me right faith, firm hope, perfect charity, and profound humility with wisdom and perception, O Lord, that I may truly do your holy will. Amen.
Yes. And with Tuesday coming up being the feast of the Annunciation, may as well end with a Hail Mary.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Ave Maria, gratia plena Dominus tecum. Benedicta tu in mulieribus et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen.
That was very marble mouthed on my end. I apologize.
Yes. So yes, thank you all for being here today. We really appreciate all of you as always. God bless you. And everybody have a wonderful upcoming week.
Yes.
You'll be here tomorrow morning?
I will be here in the morning. I already have the stream scheduled. Hey.
Yay.
And then morning crew 6:30 a.m. Central. You'll be back Tuesday night.
I'll be Tuesdays with Tommy. We're going to cover the First Crusade.
Nice.
So, yeah, I seem to be working backwards in time. we went to Lepanto. Well, we went Malta, Lepanto, then back to the Reconquista, and then to the Inquisition right after. And now we're going to go way back to the First Crusade.
Hey.
And we'll probably do them in order. I'll probably do the First, Second, and Third Crusade the next 3 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah, I'll be covering the Crusades.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday we'll be here for our normal Wednesday show.
Are we going to be here Wednesday? I thought we were doing car stuff on Wednesday.
Maybe we'll see.
We'll see.
I'll let everybody. I'll announce it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think some of the parts aren't going to be here till Thursday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it depends on when parts show up.
Sweet. Not that I was kind of hoping they weren't going to show up by Wednesday, but I was kind of hoping that we weren't going to have to skip Wednesday.
Yeah. So we'll most likely be here Wednesday, people.
Yeah.
Also, I may not feel like doing it at all after work this week. I may just wait till next Saturday and do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's the last couple of pieces. It's not going to take long. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But anyway, God bless you all. We love you and we appreciate you.
Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah, and we will see you next time. Have a good one.
Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimitimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a